Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll call the March 17, 2025 meeting of your Board of Commissioners to order. We will start with an invocation being delivered by Pastor Sue Ann Morris of the Spray United Methodist Church. That'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and Code Enforcement Officer Bryson Wall will help us with that. If everyone would please stand.
Good and gracious God, we thank you for this opportunity to provide hearts of servanthood. We ask that you would bless this commission, that you would allow them to make decisions based on the best of their abilities, guided by you. Allow them to see into the future that you have in store for us all. May everything that they do be pleasing to you first and foremost. In the name above all names we pray. Amen.
Please face the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you to both of you for helping us tonight. Next is approval of tonight's agenda. I believe there's one change. I understand that item 7A2 is being removed from tonight's agenda. With that change, do we have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So move as amended.
Motion by Commissioner Barrow.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Richardson. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye. Aye. Next is the consent agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, items on the consent agenda, typically non-controversial in nature. If you have any questions about items on the consent agenda, please reach out to county administration and our county manager, Lance Metzler, and he'll be glad to provide you with details of items on the consent agenda. With that, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Richardson.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hall. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye. Aye. Next is public comment. We do have one person that signed up for public comment. Lance, if you would read the rules as far as public comment, please.
Yes, sir. The public comment period shall be for the purpose of allowing members of the public to present any matter pertaining to county business or items on the Board of Commissioners' agenda. Remarks shall be addressed directly to the Board of Commissioners and not to the staff, the audience, or media. The chairperson shall open the public comment period. Any speaker who wishes to speak shall approach the podium and not speak from his or her seat. Each speaker shall clearly state his or her name and physical address when he or she approaches the podium. Your time will be displayed on the monitor in front of you. The time clock will start with 3 minutes. You will hear a beep at 1 minute to alert you to wrap up your comments. If you are, speakers appearing before the Board of Commissioners will not be allowed to campaign for public office, promote private business ventures, or use language of personal nature which insults or demeans any person or which, when directed at a public official, is not related to his or her official duties. The Board of Commissioners may accept written comments in lieu of oral statements. Written statements can be delivered to the county manager's office. Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We have one person that signed up, and that is Colleen, and I can't read, is it Lip Trap, okay. Sorry. You can come forward, ma'am. And as Mr. Metzler indicated, please state your name and give us your address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Okay, my name is Colleen Liptrap, and I live at 231 Ravensbourne Trace in Stokesdale. I'm here tonight. I know some of you may have received emails from other parents regarding the pre-K funding, and I thought coming here in person was better than just sending an email because actions speak more loudly than words do. So I wrote something very briefly to express how much the pre-K program has meant to myself and my son and our family. So if you would just give me a moment to pull that up, and I will be quick with your time. So my son Matthew attends preschool at Bethany Elementary. This year has been nothing but transformative for him, and his father and I say multiple times a month how grateful we are that he was able to attend. His preschool experience is something that we will be thankful for the rest of our lives. Every day he comes home and talks about his teachers and his friends. He loves to show us his work and talk about what he learned and the stories they read. He can't leave the school before he gives all of his teachers big hugs. I have several friends who are educators, and they all see and say the same thing. There is a clear difference in preparedness among incoming kindergartners that is not only academic, but social and emotional, and that the difference is seen in these children even at higher grade levels. I know in the current political climate, budgets are being scrutinized and tough decisions have to be made, but the benefit of preschool classrooms has a far more wide-reaching benefit than a dollar amount can actually quantify. As the merits and downfalls of items on budgets are discussed, I ask that you think about the children and families who may not have the opportunity going forward that mine has had if more classrooms are closed. To see their child blossom and learn and make friends and have teachers who show up every day for them with love and purpose is beyond measure. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. And, ma'am, I will tell you that we did receive a number of emails. We give money to the school system. They determine what to spend that money on. And I would certainly encourage you to go speak with members of the school board and school administration about your concern. I believe that's where you need to address those concerns.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next is a presentation by Captain Jennifer Brown. And this deals with an increase in inmate medical expenses for the rest of this year.
Yes. Good evening. I brought with me the other Captain Brown. Since he is over our detention facility, I figured if you had any specific questions, he might be able to answer those accordingly.
Okay.
But tonight, we are requesting to move funds to the inmate medical budget line to cover a shortage that we are projecting for the rest of the fiscal year. The overcost pool limit that we have with Southern Health Partners, those invoices have been higher than average recently due to serious inmate medical conditions that required hospitalization. And as you know, that is something that we cannot predict from year to year what's going to happen to the inmates, how many inmates are going to need medical attention, and so forth. We're now asking for $250,000 to be moved to get us through the remainder of this fiscal year. That will help cover the base fee that we pay monthly, which covers the salaries for the medical providers in-house. And then the overage cost, which is the overcost pool limit, is something that every year they allow $55,000 in our budgeting price. And once that is gone, we've used that, then we have to pay for it. So what's happened, that's usually wiped out within the first month and a half of the fiscal year. And we've seen some huge bills. The last 3 months, we've had a $25,000 bill, a $35,000 or $37 dollar bill, and then a $58,000 bill. And we have more to come that we haven't even seen yet. So do you have any questions concerning how that works or what exactly it covers?
Commissioner Barrow. Oh, sorry.
Thank you,
Commissioner
Mr. Chair. I guess I have a question. So the overages are for Southern Health Partners?
It's for costs that inmates have accrued. No, it's not for Southern Health Partners. It's for medical.
For the hospital?
Yes, for the hospitalization, yes.
The way that it read here, it just said that the Southern Health Partners have been higher than average for 3 consecutive months, so.
The bills come through Southern Health Partners, and then they're given to us for payment. They look at everything, make sure everything looks correct. And, to my knowledge, they look and see if there's anything that can be done to decrease the amounts.
So the hospital sends it to Southern Health Partners, and then they get it to us? Okay, that was my question. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Hall.
So, Ms. Brown, what kind of cost are you guys experiencing per month?
Per month, well, we have a base fee that
Right.
is every month, that right now it's 48,000 and some change, and that covers the salaries for all the nursing staff and the med tech. Is that correct, Captain Brown?
MedTech is out of the.
And that's out of the MAP program grant. I'm sorry, the med tech is out of the MAP program grant, but the others covers the salaries where we increase to the 24/7 coverage. And then on top of that, we have what is the OCP, or the over-cost pool limit. And initially, we start with 55,000. That's included in our base fee.
55,000, is that a yearly amount, or is that?
Yes,
Okay.
and that goes pretty quick when you think about the number of inmates that we have, with the potential of having medical issues that requires them to be seen outside of the jail.
How much money is remaining at this time?
At this
Before
time-
Before we move this 250,000?
We had approximately, I believe, 157,000 left. And then when we look at the base fee every month that had to be paid, we knew that we would have nothing left for the medical cost. And I know we've had some pretty serious conditions that, of course, by HIPAA, we're not allowed to, tell you exactly what that was, but, or who it was. I mean, you can speak to some of the details, but they've been just astronomical, and it's something that we had no way of knowing that it was going to happen to the inmates.
What I'm curious about is the $250,000 for the next 3 months is about $83,000 a month. And so what you're saying, that the base is $48,000 a month
Right.
plus, and I guess that difference of $32,000 roughly is the medical, is that right?
The 48,000 covers the salary, the base salary for Southern Health Partners.
Okay.
And then whatever happens, to the inmate, we have to pay the difference. So we were looking at it from the aspect of if it's 48,000 a month and we have 157 at this point, that would only cover what we have left, I believe, for May, June, April, May, and June for the base pay. So then we have to look at what could happen with the OCP cost at that point. So we're trying to just figure based on the last few invoices that we've had.
Okay, so just to be sure I'm understanding, the budget covered the $48,000 a month was in the budget, that's covered. The $55,000 per year, you've got that.
And
But-
that was used probably in the first month
Right.
for the inmates. They went over that. The first 55,000, we don't have to pay. It's included in our base.
So how much was in the budget above the $48,000 per month to cover the medical? Per month?
No.
No,
That's total for the year.
I would have to pull.
Okay, so in other words, your budget just included the salaries and one lump sum?
It was included more. You talking about the beginning budget?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it included much more than that. I don't think I have the number right in front of me, what we started with.
Because, all that was in our package was just the budget revision. I didn't go back and pull the whole budget.
I do have invoices here from the last, for the months, everything we paid over the cost pool. We have fees. Let's see, I mentioned January was $58,000, I can't see here, $621. We had,
So if this 250,000 is pulled from the fund balance to go towards this line item, if they don't use it, it will go back into the fund balance?
Okay.
So it cannot be spent somewhere else?
No, sir.
Okay.
strictly for medical, for.
And they have had some very serious issues. I think some bills are still outstanding.
They are.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Commissioner Barrow?
So the numbers you're giving us is not including what is outstanding. Is that what I just,
We do not have those figures yet.
you haven't received the bills yet?
No, we're
Okay.
basing what we are trying to base estimated on what we've seen here, but it could be worse, or it could be less. We just don't know.
I don't know what the typical protocol is on this, Lance, from years past possibly, but we're sort of playing a guessing game here, right? We're saying we need to move 250,000. That may be enough, that may not be enough, we don't know.
Right.
Is it against some sort of protocol to wait until we receive the bills and then say, this is the amount we need to move?
You could do that, but again, as she was saying, as Jennifer was saying, that if you've got the 58,000 roughly per month, that's going to eat that 157 up, and we still know that we have bills out there that need to be paid.
And I guess what they're hoping to avoid is multiple trips here, because they may come every month if that's the case, as far as here's our bill, here's our bill, here's our bill. So.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And those are just hard numbers from the hospital. The hospital goes to, like she had mentioned, Southern Partners. They scrub it, make sure that the numbers are correct, and then we get the final bill.
Do we know what bills are out, how much is outstanding?
I don't know.
Well, they're also projecting a couple of more bills coming in, so.
And like County Manager said, if we have more months like this $58,000 month, that's on top of the 48 that we're already paying for the salary. You know, it could be bad. Do you have any foresight into that?
No, I do know that every time we send someone to safekeeping, more than likely it's because of medical. And then we incur fees because of medical there at safekeeping.
So, Mr. Chair, I think y'all had one this past weekend, didn't you?
We sent them today.
Okay.
Commissioner Richardson.
Yeah, I realize this is kind of nebulous trying to estimate medical fees. We've all been through that. But we're going to be approving eventually the use of federal forfeiture funds. If we get excess federal forfeiture funds, is there methodology in place to return those from whence they came or how to dispose of them?
This is coming out of our general fund. The federal forfeiture thing came off of the agenda.
Oh, it did?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Manager, it's really a financial sort of situation if you guys think it's the best way to handle it.
It's out of their control. I mean, it could be 250. They could be coming back 2 months from now asking for another 100,000, or it could be 150 and the other 100,000 goes back in the fund balance. It's just we don't know.
I don't see any way to refine this more than it is.
No, I mean, we're responsible for health care for those that are not on private pay insurance once they step through the doors, and they come off of Medicaid if they were on Medicaid at that point in time, and it falls on our taxpayers.
And just to give a plug for the judges, they've worked very well with us in order to get some of these people who have health issues back out there, so we're not having to cover those costs.
And I believe there's a backlog with the state Department of Corrections as far as getting folks shipped out over 91 days. Is that right?
Over 91 days?
Well, I know typically if someone's sentenced to more than 91 days, they go to State Department of Corrections, but I believe there's been a backlog. Yes, sir.
They stay with us.
Yes, sir.
We ship them to another county jail, but yes.
Yeah. Okay, and so we end up housing some of the folks, and then we have those rules as far as Medicaid that, our hands are tied, so.
Since I monopolized the questions, I'd be willing to make a motion when you're ready.
Okay, any other questions? No? All right, so we have a motion by Commissioner Hall, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kellum, all in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye. All right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So next is item B, and we've got Clyde Albright listed for that. Review of contracts entered improperly by sheriff.
Good evening. I want to talk about 4 contracts I discovered were signed incorrectly. Several meetings passed. You passed a resolution creating a special fund ordinance for the sheriff to put the funds received from Paytel into that ordinance. And in reviewing the 19 contracts that we have in our computer system, I discovered there were 4 of them that were signed by the sheriff. And they need to be signed, generally, I like to see them sign Rockingham County through its sheriff's office, because the sheriff's office cannot bind the county. Only the county can spend funds. And so, what I've done is I've worked with the Captain Brown here, and we've come up with some addendums to these contracts. The first one is Leads Online. It expires August of this year. It's a $9,474 contract. Then there's Magnet Forces, $11,800 contract. It expires June 30th of this year. And then in Adema, is that?
Ademia.
Ademia expires March 17th, a year from today, in 26. And Paytel continues through June 30th of 2028. So what I'm proposing is that we authorize the sending of the addendums. I think you have them in your packet, where it simply corrects the contract so that it is between Rockingham County through its sheriff's office. And I had suggested that you either appoint someone, give them the authority to sign these addendums. I suggested Captain Brown, since she's familiar with the contracts and does this work for the sheriff's office. Of course, it's up to the board to decide who you want to sign contracts for the sheriff's office. But in any event, these 4 addendums will correct the problems that we are facing now.
Gentlemen? Well,
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Hall?
Clyde, now, these, if we appoint Ms. Brown to do these, she would be signing for just these, any future contracts would still have to come to us for approval, is that correct?
Well, yes, what I would suggest is that you give her the authority to sign the contracts up to an amount the board can choose, $15,000, $20,000. If there's a contract more expensive than that, then the manager is authorized to sign it. But she's reviewing them anyway, and they go into our Power DMS computer service, and I look at them, and the finance director looks at them, and they're signed off. We make sure that everything is proper, the indemnification language is proper, the venue, choice of law, those type of things.
So you see these and Lance sees them and Manny sees them?
No, I only see certain ones. I don't see these. I haven't seen these.
Okay,
Sees the big ones.
okay. All right.
And is that consistent with other departments?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you mentioned 4 out of 19, so that's 4 out of 19 with the sheriff's office, is that right?
That's correct, yes.
Did you review other departments in the county?
I looked at about 250 contracts in our computer system. And every one of them was Rockingham County through its health department, Rockingham County through its Department of Social Services.
How many departments do we have?
Roughly 23.
Okay. So the only one not following the rules is the one charged with enforcing the rules?
Well, that's the 4 that I found.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Commissioner Richardson.
Any future contracts, I have no problem with what you suggest with the addendum and so forth, but future contracts, they would be coming from Captain Brown and the Sheriff's Department somewhere, right? Correct?
Yes.
They would
Usually-
determine a need for the contract and provide it for review with the county. Would it be unnecessarily cumbersome if we authorized our finance officer to sign these contracts?
She has to sign the contract and approve that there's money in the budget to pay for them. In addition to, I sign it for legal form and sufficiency. So she's already signing them under the Budget Control Act.
I'm just trying to put the signator of these contracts in the right position, and if the county's supposed to do that, that would seem, Lance, to you or your second in command.
I mean, we don't need to see every contract. I mean, we have hundreds of contracts, and I'll be reviewing contracts.
And when you say we, you mean?
The county, the Rockingham County,
But you're talking about county administration. It's typical for the legal department to see every
yes,
contract.
the legal department and finance, both of them see all the contracts.
But y'all did not see these contracts, or some of them you did, or?
Some of them, I'll be honest with you, I made a mistake. I should have caught this back in '24.
Okay.
It did not.
Okay.
So it's on me for the four that,
All four of them? Because I believe that the initial extension of the pay tail doesn't have anything as far as legal department to approve. I believe that's when they added the, and
that's
maybe it
when-
was already there.
that's when I focused on the paytail contract and then jumped to the ordinance, the special ordinance that the Sheriff's Association recommended. And
Yes,
then I
sir.
went back and looked at the others and found these other errors. And I didn't catch it, the finance director didn't catch it, and neither did Captain Brown.
So what is Leads Online? What is that?
I understand it from reading the contract, it is a service that provides you with leads on criminal activity. Is that correct?
I can further elaborate if you would like me to.
Well, I mean, I think that kind of gave us, I'm just looking for some idea of what
Okay,
some of this is. And the second one was what?
Ademia,
What is that?
that's a computer software service.
For fingerprints.
Fingerprint machines, live scan machine.
What was the other one?
Magnet forces.
What is that?
Forensics. Yeah.
Sorry, can't read my own writing.
And then Paytel is the movies and video games
Yes,
and
the computer. the
text
little pads.
messages and video messages in multiple languages that the inmates have.
Right, and also they have a service that gives them the ability to get their GED through that.
But that's a free service. I believe there's some free aspects, but the Paytel, I mean, we had inmates with internet availability, during COVID, while, we had to have kids driven to hot spots to do homework. But that's,
Right.
okay.
Chair, I think I'd be ready to motion that we follow our council's recommendation on the addendums.
Let's take them one at a time. So Leads Online, you're willing to make a motion to approve that one. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second on Commissioner Barrow, or by Commissioner Barrow. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye.
Aye.
Then Ademia, is that correct?
Ademia, yes.
You make a motion on that one as well? Okay.
Same motion.
Same motion, same second. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye.
Aye.
And what was the
Magnet forces.
magnet forces?
Forensics, I'm sorry.
Forensics. We have a motion by Commissioner Richardson, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Second by Commissioner Barrow. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye. Aye. And then Paytel.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Richardson. Second by Commissioner Kellum. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye.
Aye.
And I am opposed. I just don't believe that providing inmates with movies and video games is something that we should be pushing for. So, okay. Thank you.
You've got the ongoing question yet? Future contracts that he brought up.
Any future contracts, do y'all, how do y'all want to handle that?
Well,
I would suggest under 10,000.
Okay. Is that a motion or?
Well, just for discussion, that's
Okay.
my thought right now.
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Captain Brown, so you don't have to come up. So are you the person that the sheriff wants to have signing these? Is that your understanding? Yes. Okay, then I'm fine with under 10,000 for Captain Brown if that's the will of the board.
I'd be willing to make that as a motion.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Hall
I'll
to
second.
authorize Captain Brown to execute contracts for under 10,000 that follow the proper protocol. And
Second.
second by Commissioner Barrow. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, Then,
I don't know whether to say congratulations or not on that.
next, items of new business.
No, sir.
Nothing? Okay. Commissioner comments, Commissioner Kellum.
I would like to give congratulations to the Reidsville basketball team and for their second state title. I believe currently they are 60-0, 60 wins, no losses in the last 2 years. I was privileged enough to get up to see them over the weekend, and they really showed out. So I want to give them a big congratulations. Also, I was privileged to meet the family, Sergeant David Hardy. His remains come into Rockingham County a couple weeks ago. I'd like to really appreciate and recognize the family, and thanks for letting him come in and letting me spend some time with him. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Hall?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the person who came to speak tonight regarding pre-K. And just to reiterate some of the things that the chairman said, typically we've been providing the schools about $15, $16 million plus another $882,000 in capital outlay. And this past year, that dollar total was raised by about $3.25 million. So $3,250,000 additional funds in recurring monies were given to the schools. We don't restrict those funds. They're not designated. Your school board decides how those funds are spent. One of the things, if you go back and look at the February 24th meeting, go about 17, 18 minutes into their school board meeting, and basically they said that some of these programs were funded through their temporary COVID monies. So they've started a program, a recurring program with temporary money. And then they're encouraging folks to come to us to raise your taxes to add on this program. And I would encourage you to reach out to your school board and administration and let them know that you're watching them, because that's where that designation will be. That's where the restrictions will be. Because with that extra $3.25 million in recurring monies that we put in the budget for this year, it's going to be hard for us to justify doing much more than that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I mentioned something about the STIP last meeting. That is the document that determines the priority that DOT uses in fixing and putting in new roads and readjusting roads. And this county should be very interested in that, particularly in light of Highway 29 and Highway 220 that are being upgraded to interstate standards and need access and overpasses. Anyhow, I think the citizens of this county would be very interested in the public reviews and making their input known to the Department of Transportation. And if you have such a desire, you can go to the county website and you go to the I want to caption followed by learn about, and there you'll find the STIP, and it'll tell you when those public information hearings are available. Also, I'd like to publicize to the public that No Charge Week for refuse disposal is coming up April 21st through 26th. And again, you need to go to the county website because there are various processes, procedures, and restrictions. For example, if you're not a resident of Rockingham County, you won't be allowed to use that. And there's several other restrictions. So I would encourage you again to go to the county website and where I want to, there you're wanting to dispose of trash. And finally, there's a document available, and again, on the county website, the state of the county. It's a very good document in very simple form to give an explanation of what your county officials, hired and elected and otherwise, have been doing, and those activities that are important within the county. And I would encourage every citizen to go to that website, or you can come to the county if you need hard copy, and take a look at what we're doing there. And finally, I'd like to recognize one of our employees in the county, Rhonda Hooker, who works in the library. She came to work for the county in 2003 as an education specialist with the enrichment program. She did leave the county for a while, but she was back in 2011 as a library assistant. She's been a full-time library assistant. She is also a telecommunicator and part of our 911 center. And she has continued her affiliation and support of the libraries ever since then. So she's now our library director. And if you see Rhonda, if you see her, please congratulate her on doing a good job for you as the citizens of this county. Mr. Chair, that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Farrow.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I also wanted to speak about Sergeant David Hardy. His remains coming home after 70 years. I'm friends with Karen Hardy and her brother David Hardy, who was named after Sergeant David Hardy, and obviously condolences for the loss, but also there was a lot of joy and gratitude that he was able to come home after such a long time. So that was wonderful that we got to celebrate him a couple weeks ago. I also would like to say congratulations to Coach Jason Ross and the Reidsville men's varsity basketball team. Back-to-back state championships don't come easy, and it's a great pride for the county. There's a lot of athletes on that team where I'm sure we'll be hearing their names for many years to come. So congratulations again to all of you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Yes, it's very moving and touching for Sergeant Hardy to be returned to Rockingham County, and that was a great ceremony that they had. And congratulations to Jason Ross and the Reidsville basketball team. We have extended an invitation to have them here in our chambers in the future, and just trying to confirm a date. Another thing as far as basketball, of course you know about March Madness. There is a connection to Rockingham County. We have a graduate of Moorhead High School as a coach at UNC Wilmington, and also one of the players at Wilmington is also a graduate of Moorhead High School. That is Mikael Smith is the player, and Takeo Siddle is the coach. They play Thursday night at 10 p.m., so we're certainly pulling for them in the NCAA tournament. Then there's also been a little bit of discussion with the schools and by the schools as far as the elementary issues here in the county. There's different scenarios that they are vetting as far as the elementary issues in the Reidsville area. And what we have let them know is that there is the state lottery grant. I believe that grant amount requires a 5% match. The grant, as of last budget cycle, was for a total of $42 million. We've let the school system know that that is the budget for the grant application for whatever is decided with the Reidsville elementary options. We have also indicated to them that that needs to run simultaneously with the Stoneville elementary school options. As far as a grant, it's the same budget, which is $42 million, and it's a 5% match. We do have the financial ability, according to Davenport and our finance office, to handle our match portion of that, and they need to run at the same time. Stoneville has some safety issues, and that was highlighted recently with an episode just off of campus where there was a shooting. and also the traffic flow issues that exist there have been a problem for a lengthy period of time. But I believe what you'll hear in the public is both of those things moving forward at the same time, and they should be submitted at the same time. So don't have anything else. So with that, our next meeting, well, I'm sorry, there is one other thing. I almost skipped over. National Child Abuse Prevention Month is April, and our next meeting will be after the Pinwheels for Prevention ceremony out here at the flagpole. That is at 9 a.m. on April the 1st. So we will have a recognition or a proclamation to adopt in April for that, but that is in April. Don't believe there's anything else. Our next meeting is April the 1st.
April 7th.
No, I'm sorry, April the 7th. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Barrow, second by Commissioner Hall. All in favor, let it be known by the sound of aye. Aye. We are adjourned.